Thy kingdom come, thy will be done.
Expect a night of murder, poltergeist and imprisonment on Tyneside.
Hello and welcome to Most Haunted. This week I've brought you back in time, in the centre of Newcastle.
This fortress may hold a millennium of memories, but we're here to solve the paranormal phenomena said to still beset this castle. And are we helped by standing on land that houses both Roman ruins and thousands of human remains?
With such history, it's no wonder there's so much alleged paranormal activity. And that's why I had to bring you to the Castle Keep in Newcastle upon Tyne.
Castle Keep's original Motte and Bailey construction was replaced by the 12th century version that still stands tall against the skyline of Newcastle's modern-day city centre. However, several worrying connotations also exist here. A Roman settlement and an 8th century cemetery were both disturbed to allow the castle's foundations to be laid. Hundreds of corpses were exhumed, but how many hold a grudge? And in a city that once fell under Scottish rule, will we find any spiritual connection to this battle-scarred land, or indeed Braveheart himself, part of whose bloody remains were later displayed at Castle Keep? Since then, shops, houses and even a jail and hospital have all stood within the walls of this ancient fortress.
The Castle Keep that you can see behind me goes back to the time of King Henry II. And the amazing thing is that long before a castle was put here, there was a Roman settlement, and apparently part of the Roman walls and fort are still underneath the castle.
Imagine the terror of being in this room completely on your own, and then without any warning, loud, deafening bangs echo all around you. Well, that's exactly what's been witnessed here in the Great Hall. Strange mists have also been seen, along with dark, shadowy figures that haunt in the dead of night.
This was also the county jail. It's one big room, the garrison room, down below, and the number of tormented souls that would have been imprisoned in there have been sentenced to be executed, whipped, branded, or sentenced to the pillory here in this place.
Recently, a visitor to the castle was walking down these stairs towards the mezzanine chamber. They bumped into somebody, and when they went to apologise, there was no one there. Dark, shadowy figures have been seen lurking here, and a white light, said to have a will of its own, has been seen floating through this chamber on many different occasions.
We have had a lot of people say they've seen figures and shadows actually moving around the gallery when there's been nobody up there. So there's been quite a lot of different sources have come up with things which maybe can't be explained by normal physical means.
The only ghost that I can find out about is known as the Poppy Girl, and she is reputedly a girl that was imprisoned in the county jail for selling flowers, and apparently she was murdered in the prison. Her ghost is supposed to have been seen here.
The keep is actually built on top of a cemetery, so when the foundations for this building were dug, there would be a lot of burials, most probably hundreds of burials, which would be disturbed to actually lay the foundations for the whole of the Castle Keep.
So who or what is causing the strange paranormal happenings that surround this place? Could it be the many people that were murdered here, or the witches that awaited their trial? Have they all come back to haunt? We have 24 hours to find out.
This is clearly one of the oldest properties that Most Haunted has ever visited. But aside from the obvious mind games that castles usually portray, lies an investigation that greatly intrigues parapsychologist Louis Sava.
So Louis, what are you looking forward to most about being here in Newcastle?
Well, we've got a fantastic location. I mean, there's 2,000 years of human occupation on this site. And really interestingly, we've had lots of first-hand reports, photographs and apparitions reported in this location. So it's a really active location, and hopefully we'll get some really good stuff.
So what do you think we've got to look out for tonight?
Well, one of the dangerous things about this location is we're surrounded by a modern Newcastle. It's very noisy, as you can hear. So any of the noises that we might encounter on the vigils may well be modern. So one of the jobs that I have here as parapsychologist is to go around the location, perhaps be aware of any of the noises which do have normal explanations, and to make the rest of the team aware of those possible influences. So I think one of the things that I'm going to be doing is talking to people about their experiences and just making sure that what they're experiencing isn't brain-based, it isn't their own preconceptions, ideas about what's going on, that it's actually objective paranormal phenomena.
So you're basically here to make sure that we all don't get carried away with the whole sort of old-fashioned storytelling of a castle.
Absolutely, as much as I can do.
Okay.
With a history of bloody violence and incarceration ingrained into every brick, we were ready for mediums David Wells and Gordon Smith to delve deep inside this building's fabric and unearth just what makes this location so intriguing and unnerving. Our team were ready to serve their time in the haunted confines of Newcastle's Castle Keep.
There's one astral that stands out in this space, and it's a young woman moving very quickly around the galleries and possibly around the whole place, it seems. So I'm kind of later, hopefully, make a stronger connection with her. It's, again, one of these places where I think you can best describe as a real mix. You know when you're in a theatre and you
like
get that buzz, but you know people are talking, but you don't. It's just like that in my ears.
Do you need to sort of walk around the castle further to sort of make a clearer communication with her and find out more about her, or can you pick up more now? Or
We'll meet her on the way around.
Okay. Do you want to move on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Upstairs.
Back
So this
that way, yeah.
Having held so many men captive, David's sensing of a young woman within this castle was as welcome as it was unexpected. So we decide to follow his and her lead and move up to the galleries that overlook the Great Hall.
The only thing I am aware of in these upper galleries is a woman.
Is this the same woman that
No,
you...
it's not.
Oh.
She's older. And she seems to be an Elizabethan.
Right.
But she almost seems like a party goer.
Right.
And she's about age-wise herself. I think 20s, but like 24, 25.
And the woman downstairs?
More teenagery, more
Right.
16, 17,
Right.
maybe even less than
So
that.
quite young women here then.
And is she Elizabethan too, do you?
The younger girl feels almost Victorian to me, maybe just pre-Victorian, Edwardian perhaps.
Really?
Yeah.
Right. And so why do you think that the woman up here on this level, dressed in medieval gowns, why do you think she's still here? Why is she haunted?
She seems, first of all, to be watching, so she's looking at something, so she's living her life out still. It's obviously somewhere she was very happy. A woman who lived or perhaps came here for social functions.
Was she a lady?
Yes. Yeah, I don't know if she was an officially titled lady, but she's very highborn. She's telling me she died of, I think, like a lung disease, so it was a natural death. There's not a murder or anything involved. And she's also saying to me, not here, though. She didn't die here. I seem to be in the countryside with her when she died.
Right,
okay. The name I'm getting is, unfortunately, Elizabeth, and, because I said it's Elizabethan, I'm kind of thinking, oh, good grief.
What sort of activity do you think she would cause up here?
I think people will see her, and they may also hear her gown. You know that noise?
The rustling.
Yeah, that rustling. They may hear that as well, or feel that waft as she
Would
goes
that be
past.
all along the galleries here?
Do you want to walk on a bit more?
So unusually, our first two astral energies belong to those of a female form. But amongst this labyrinth of halls, corridors and hidden entrances, there also lies a reflection of the isolation and torture that Castle Keep was more than happy to bestow on those who dared to betray their king, queen or country.
Is there anybody there?
Hello? No way. No. Shh. Right, that's it. No, I can't go.
Whilst the rest of Newcastle upon Tyne reverberates to the flurry of 21st century life, the city's castle keep stands still and almost silent. But Most Haunted's investigation of this 800-year-old building is just the latest disturbance reported here, with many of the castle's rooms reputedly a centre for paranormal activity. One such area is the mezzanine chamber, where oppressive nausea and ghostly apparitions continually astound the unsuspecting.
And are you picking anything up in this particular area?
I am, and I'm actually picking up tears. I actually feel a little bit tearful myself. It also feels, it's making me nauseous, it makes me feel sick. And when I get that extreme of that sensation, it means, you know, vile death, garrotting and hanging and all those sorts of things.
In this room?
No, it doesn't feel as if it was in this room. It feels there's an air of expectancy in this room, so it's more likely to be in a dungeon or a cell or something where there is that air of tomorrow this is going to happen.
Yeah, what's going to happen to me?
Yeah, absolutely.
So is there any particular spirit that's grounded?
It's going ahead there.
It was surely one of us tapping our feet, wasn't it?
No.
Well, it sounded from behind me, but again, it's very difficult to pinpoint.
It sounded to me like it was over there. And it was certainly none of you lot, because I can see all your feet.
It's interesting. There's... You're on.
I just heard something like
A little whisper.
I had a whisper as well.
Yeah.
And I had a bad tap.
Is there anyone up there?
Shall I get up there?
Doesn't seem to be.
There it is again. Listen.
Shall I go up the stairs just to see if there's anyone? Shall I?
Shall we go up to the top of the stairs?
Other than those present either in front or behind the camera, no other crew members were on site at this time. Carl and Louis' inspection upstairs discovered what we initially suspected, a secure and empty building. And once both men had returned, another point of interest was to arise.
So you're picking up on a man?
A male figure. He seems to, just what Carl's done, he seems to walk from midway down and down here, and then turn here and go in here.
This is a doorway that once linked the mezzanine chamber to the garrison room. And although this connection has long since been bricked up, David was able to find this link, as well as hint at Castle Keep's ceremonial past.
I think it would have come through over here. It's probably bricked up now. I think it's here, that space there.
What? Don't point to it.
It seems like, you know, I know this is marked out in red, but it feels, because that could easily have been a window, but it feels like it's this area here. The phrase I've got in my head is like kings are made and kings are broken, and you know, that kind of sensation to it. There's whispering in this room as well, which whispering is always a sign for me of politicking, of statesmanship. Yeah.
What was that?
Politicking, of statesmanship. Yeah.
What was that?
Politicking, of statesmanship. Yeah.
What was that? It's a band outside.
It is a band.
It's a marching band outside.
Just as I'm saying states occasions.
It stopped. Oh my.
That has to be something outside.
There's got to be something outside.
There's nothing outside.
To say we were intrigued would be an understatement, and with Carl seeing no visible source for our sudden musical interruption, we were left to openly question who or what had been responsible.
I'm lost for words.
That was mad.
Why have we heard that? Let's say if it is paranormal, why have we heard that?
Well, it's obvious if you've got to go on it. It's obviously at some point, and I'm sure it's true, this was a garrison. At some point around these walls, there would have been soldiers camped out. They would have set off from here. They would have come in here. I was talking about ceremonies and kings being made and kings being destroyed. If you're executing a king, you don't just take him to a little quiet room and you do the big number.
And from a skeptic's point of view, did you hear the noise of the marching band outside?
I didn't hear the noise. You guys all reacted very strongly to it.
But if you had have heard it, from a skeptic's point of view, what would you put that down to?
I just don't know. I mean, skeptics don't have the answers. I can't necessarily give you an answer.
Okay.
So, with prisoners of crime and politics, including those of blue blood, thought to still roam here, we decide to show David one more room, an area that, unbeknown to him, once held those facing their darkest hours.
I have a sense of a man in the corner, and he's kneeling and praying. He's praying, essentially for his life. He seems specifically to be here, though, because he's been taken from here and murdered, or executed is probably a better word.
Is this your political prisoner, David?
It could be a political prisoner, and there is a crown above his head, so I don't know if any kings have been taken from here.
A political prisoner?
Yeah,
he's got
there's like it's like it's hovering above his head in my vision.
This is land that once switched between English and Scottish rule. So did this historic but hostile battle for power see traitors imprisoned here? And with one Scot having sampled life in Castle Keep, we then invited spiritualist medium Gordon Smith to sample this grand design.
I mean, this place really gets me here. I'm surrounded by people.
Right.
I get the sense of one soul being surrounded by others. There's just...
Is there one particular soul that stands out more than the others?
There's a youngish female. A young woman, I'd say, rather than a child. I don't feel her manacled or chained up or anything like that, but I do know that she's in here, and there's such a feeling of sadness. It's almost defeatist. There's a sense of a connection between the two rooms. I mean, I want to walk through there. It's like just this horrid, horrid feeling. Anybody who would sense this and had no real sort of psychic awareness would be terrified.
You hear that, yeah.
People would see... I heard something.
It was like a door banging.
Yeah. Sound is the phenomena of this place. Absolutely, it's sound.
Interestingly, the Scottish blood that runs through both of our mediums took an instant disliking to an area where more than one Scotsman is known to have suffered. And once more we had encountered a mystifying amount of auditory phenomena. A few of us had already been privy to the torturous tales that exist within the fabric of this former county jail. But would any of the garrison's rooms' morose memories transfer into Gordon's psyche?
Where would you think the door, you know, the other room that we were in, where do you think that would have been, the connecting door?
I'm kind of drawn over here.
And Gordon, do you feel that, I mean, psychically, because obviously there's brickwork there which is different from the stonework.
Yeah.
And so, you know, skeptically, you know, you might be drawn to that psychologically.
Skeptically, I could have been drawn to that psychological. That was the first place I walked.
Yeah.
I mean, even as Yvette said, where do you feel I was being pulled in that direction? And again, everything I'm feeling down here is all in my gut, which tells me it's a very dense, heavy energy. It's almost as if this one woman stands out in a crowd, but it's like a pack of dogs surrounding her. The people, it's like
what they want,
converging on her. There's certainly something that's befell this young woman that is pretty horrific.
So far, a predominantly heavy and uncomfortable air has followed both of our psychics around this building. However, one small and enclosed area was about to offer Gordon a little light relief to lift Castle Keep's dark mood.
I feel this is more spiritual up here. It's almost like hearing hymns, and there's something in prayer and people in their robes and whatnot. I just feel as though there's an essence of, as it goes higher up, it's clearing and clearing and clearing. It's almost like that's the first sign of cleansing, or that there's light getting into the place.
Okay.
And I don't mean bright light, I mean just some kind of spiritual light.
Okay.
Given the rich history associated with a castle situated in border country, it is no surprise that so many of the memories still held here are of a belligerent nature. Prisoners of the Anglo-Scottish War were often held here, as were latter-day criminals who often found themselves chained to their cell walls. But by contrast, those who were condemned to death often turned to their faith, despite knowing that their fate in this world was already sealed. Nightfall signalled our intentions to discover more of Castle Keep's many mysteries, so we decide that 2 groups are better than 1. And with David and Louis leading Richard, Rachel and both Johns into the Great Hall, I joined Gordon, Stuart, Ian and Joe in an area that witnessed so much suffering.
Is there anybody here? Try and talk to us if you can. A noise?
Right, come on, you can communicate. All right. Why is that?
Come back.
Flowers. I want to give somebody flowers. Or I'm holding out flowers for people. See, like a flower seller.
Right.
Like in, what was the old play? Was it Oliver at My Fair Lady?
Yeah.
And look.
Giving her the flowers.
Okay. Come on, friend. Why are you showing me that? Alright, I'm just letting my mind drift into where, back into the building. And as I do that, I'm actually feeling, just getting a sense of everything opening up again.
Right.
Okay, come on. Such a vision of somebody with, again, almost like goitre eyes. It's
Oh God.
really strange and... But it's not, I'm not frightened of them, they are frightened themselves. It's like this.
Are they here in the room now?
This is the sense that I'm picking up now. It's almost like, come on, just come out and be with us. Don't be afraid.
She's come down, she's in this room now. She's going round the outsides of this room towards us. Whoa, she's right here. Do you feel a draft, Rachel, right between you and me?
Yeah.
She moved as soon as I said, let's communicate. She's here.
It's here.
Can you feel it?
If you go
It's
here.
extraordinary. Because she's right here. It was amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Straight away, it's right in my face now as well. Okay, let's see if I can get to her. She's either carrying, if it's poppies or roses. Now, spiritually, poppies are for remembrance, don't forget me, in other words. And roses are, of course, for love. And she was completely not anyone in society, therefore she wants to be constantly remembered because no one remembered her actually in life, not death.
I actually get the sense of the young lady coming forward. Almost for help. I feel a presence really close to me. Because as I'm asking, I'm just getting these flowers, as though she's known by a flower or whatever. Something going up there.
Is it worth going up
Yeah.
there? Going into that
I
one,
think
yeah,
so.
and see if we can
Yeah.
see. Yeah.
If that was you, please come closer to us. Please, darling, come closer to us and just impress upon one of us, just touch one of us. We want to remember you, we want to know more about you.
Might she be interfering with one of my radio mics?
What's happening to your radio mic, Johnny?
Please, darling, come closer to us and just impress upon one of us.
Well, Louis' one's just died. There was a fresh battery in it not that long ago, and it's died. But it just went as soon as David started talking.
Despite being in separate places at the same time, David and Gordon have both hit upon the Poppy Girl, a local lass whose tale is synonymous with this building. A disputable claim forced her imprisonment here, where it's thought she soon suffered a fatal attack from the many male criminals also held captive. So, with electrical interference and shuffling sounds accompanying our appeals for activity, Were we a step closer to knowing just who haunts Castle Keep?
I don't know. I just heard that. Make it so we definitely know you're here.
This is Castle Keep, a building that for several centuries has both shielded and incarcerated the citizens of Newcastle upon Tyne. Thousands upon thousands of different souls have walked its bare and basic floors, but how many have returned from beyond their grave? The early stages of our night vision vigils has separately seen both David and Gordon sense a flowery female, a term more akin to her profession than the manner in which she is thought to have passed.
But it's like a pack of dogs surrounding her. They're people. It's like
What they want.
converging on her. There's certainly something that's befell this young woman that is pretty horrific.
And even more bizarrely, electrical interference and a shuffling of feet have been recorded in the Great Hall, a sign that David feels signals this girl's powerful presence.
If that was you that drew the energy, try and do it too. If you can do it once, try and do it again. Try and do it with my microphone. She'd understand what a microphone is, but I suspect she must do. Or touch one of us. Better still, please show yourself.
She's still close by, David.
Yeah. She's a really sorrowful little thing.
So is she in visitation then, David?
She's around, yeah. I think she's grounded. She's not visiting, she's grounded.
She's grounded, but she's not residual, she's...
No, she's not residual, she's too strong.
She's active.
Yeah, she's active. This little slip of a thing, although, could be really powerful, you know?
What do you mean by powerful then, David?
Powerful enough to cause phenomena, powerful enough to make you feel ill, powerful enough to take over a voice box.
I wish she would.
She's trying with mine, I can tell you. She's trying with mine. But my voice is drying up because she's trying really hard.
What earlier I was getting where somebody was actually, as if everybody came round.
Yeah.
It was just like ravaging somebody or...
She sort of like went sort of to the brick wall and then she went and it was madness.
It was actually madness. I was seeing as though people had gone mad.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of sickness in this building because that's what I keep feeling.
Yeah.
Total sickness.
Whoa. It sounded like rattling a table.
Whoa, and another?
And another. What was that noise as well? Was that you moving here?
No, I've not shifted.
What noise
That
did
was
you
a noise,
hear?
yeah.
In there?
Yeah.
Yeah, over there.
Did we put those chairs back? Like, did you put that one there?
Oh.
So hang on a minute, one...
Back to front, yeah.
No, wait a minute, but one... Did you put one on top of the
No.
other, Stuart?
No, I did not. No, that one's moved.
Whoa, come and have a look.
Watch careful, just be careful.
See?
Just have to put the...
Okay, coming down.
What did we say when we went up there? Didn't we say it was like chairs clanking?
Yeah.
Oh shit, you did? Wow.
And that what's the deal with that one right over there?
We didn't put that there.
We didn't put that there.
These puzzled expressions didn't alter with our immediate discovery that every other investigator had been back in the crew room for at least 10 minutes prior to us hearing the movement of these chairs. And I, for one, am still at a loss to explain what you have just seen. And now it was time for Carl and Stuart to spend an hour in the mezzanine chamber, the same isolated room that had earlier supplied several strange and unresolved sounds.
I just sort of heard like somebody shuffling on the stairs or moving on the stairs.
Where's that banging coming from?
That's the stairs. It's coming from the stairs.
No way.
What the is that?
You're right.
sounded like he was coming down the stairs. Shh! Hey, listen.
Where's it coming? It's coming from up here, that can't.
Shh! Hey, listen.
Are you walking up and down these concrete steps?
I just heard a couple of look like they were sounded like they were from behind me.
That came from up here, that rock. That came from up here, I know it did, I heard it. It was footsteps.
Well, they were heavy footsteps, but there's no one there.
No, there's no one there. And this is what members of the crew have been hearing throughout the day, footsteps and various different things.
Well, they were heavy footsteps, but there's no one there.
No, there's no one there. And this is what members of the crew have been hearing throughout the day, footsteps and various different things.
Well, they were heavy footsteps, but there's no one there.
No, there's no one there. And this is what members of the crew have been hearing throughout the day, footsteps.
So for a third successive time, this chamber hadn't disappointed. And with both men visibly still, footsteps can clearly be heard very close by.
Shh! Hey, listen.
And a short while after these strange events, Carl accompanied Rachel, Kath and Joe into the captive confines of the garrison room, whilst I joined both mediums and both Johns high up amongst the gods.
Ridiculously thick, these walls, aren't they?
I think there's another stair here. What did you see?
What's up?
No, just one might just might have been a car.
I don't like this bit. I don't like this bit at all.
I did. I thought I heard a
Well,
don't like this bit.
Shard.
Well, I heard
catching.
Really?
I'm catching
the shards of
movement.
light coming through look a bit sinister.
What's
I'm
that?
definitely catching movement.
Yeah.
Something moving around.
I just felt as I was stopped.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah, me too. It's exactly how I felt. And I'm prickly all over.
Are you?
Yeah, definitely.
What's that? I heard that.
Yeah.
What is that? Was that like a... I don't know, some either
There's
some
a sound,
whispering
yeah.
or...
Yeah. There it is again.
Oh, God.
What? What?
Definitely around here.
Yeah, it is here.
Walk and have your mouth open. Walk into it with your mouth open. No?
No, I didn't get anything.
No?
What did you get?
I can get it now. It's like you're breathing in a load of...
Yeah. That's what I was hearing, but I never picked it up when I did that.
No, it's
Something
like
drying on it.
drying, dust and...
What, like a smell?
No. Like, I've been walking along here just, you know, because I'm out of breath, my mouth's
It's like a
open.
wheeze.
Yeah, and it's like as soon as you come through this bit, as you pick it, it's gone.
What's that?
That I thought came from
No,
in
that
there,
was-
but it came... No.
Down.
Again here.
It seemed to me to come from down there.
Is that someone's in the Great Hall?
Yeah, maybe it is.
Nope.
No.
Nobody there?
No one down in the Great Hall?
Definitely heard
Yeah,
noise, didn't I?
definitely.
Hello? Hello? Is there anybody there?
I don't know. I just heard that. Sounds like chanting.
No, wait, no.
What did you hear? What did you hear?
It's like monks chanting.
I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it. If there are monks around here that are chanting in this room, shh.
What was that?
Shh. Shh.
What was that?
Make it so we definitely know you're here. It came from out there.
One of Castle Keep's biggest secrets is embedded in its very foundations. We already knew that this part of the garrison room was built on a cemetery, but extensive research has since revealed that a church is also likely to have made way for this building's construction in the 12th century. Add this to the chapel that lies just along this same ground floor corridor, and we may well have a reason for the religious overtones that had stunned this vigil. But how many more shocks still stood in our way?
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Shit.
Take a step inside Castle Keep and you're greeted with a grim reminder of the lives that were lost in and around this ancient part of Newcastle upon Tyne. And Most Haunted's investigation here offers even more intrigue with each passing hour, particularly along the ground floor. And having just heard a chant similar to that of a monk, Carl decides to leave Rachel, Kath and Joe in the garrison room and head towards the chapel. And high above these events, in a separate gallery vigil, David was presenting a vision of what might lie in store.
So, is there anybody here?
All I can sense is kind of like a threat and danger.
I just feel like running.
Yeah.
Almost an energy coming
at you.
Yeah.
And is it a male energy or...?
It feels more male to me than female, definitely.
And they're here now?
Well, it's almost like I can't sense them right here. It's a threat to me. It's a threat of them coming towards me.
God, I'm scared. I'm not happy about being on my own in this. Please, while I'm in here, try to charm. What could they do? Shit. Sounds like something was in there. Please, if you're by these gravestones, make a sound. Or just the other side of this wall. That's a gravestone. Hello? If I say a prayer, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Shit. Okay, a minute. I've just heard some banging sound. It started to do the Lord's Prayer, and that's actually a church. Still an ordained church. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. No way, no. Shh. Right, that's it. No, I can't go. Hello? Crying out loud.
Because we can hear lots of noises. She's really freaky.
Right, okay. No, look, I can't go. I'm so scared. I'm just going to show you in here. I hope I caught that one. There's no one in here. There is no one in this room. And there's a light. Yeah, I'm in here. You okay? I've just done the. I just started to do the Lord's Prayer, and there's no. But the gravestones that are there are going like there's banging coming from the gravestones, actually from the stones. One seemed to be the stone outside that square bit, and then I've just done it being there again. It seemed to be banging from this little piece here. I came out there and carried on, and then it came from back to where the gravestones are. But it's agitated, and I'm not sure whether I want to.
I think maybe.
Could you?
Yeah. We could hear it down there.
So, with the new day dawning, has another ecclesiastical energy been caught in sound, if not in vision? Our other attempts to capture supernatural phenomena may have ultimately proved fruitless, but in a building that echoes to the sounds of sickness and suffering, more than any other emotion, we were left to ask, why did we hear so much, yet see so little? Are we dealing with phenomena of a paranormal or psychological kind, or possibly both? Scientific analysis of our tapes may help to answer these questions.
In order to establish whether an object has moved paranormally, you need to have continuous video footage of it moving.
Did we put those chairs back? Like, did you put that one there?
Oh.
So hang on a minute, one...
Back to front, yeah.
No, wait a minute, but one... Did you put one on top of the other, Stuart?
No,
That one's moved.
Whoa!
Unfortunately, we don't have that footage in this particular case, and so there are a number of sceptical explanations for its movement.
No way, no. Shh. Right, that's it. No, I can't go. Hello?
Richard Felix is a great proponent of the stone tape theory and sees the feelings and the experiences that the mediums had as being evidence of this particular theory. What he may be missing is the fact that it could be perfectly natural. We could be looking at magnetic field, we could be looking at the occurrence of infrasound in particular locations, and the mediums both experiencing the same thing. It doesn't have to be a paranormal experience. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
What was that? It's a band outside. It stopped. Oh my...
That has to be something outside.
There's got to be something outside.
Now, given that this particular auditory phenomena occurred on David Wells' walk-around when they're in the garrison, which has a military connection, it's quite impressive phenomena. You'd have to be 100% certain that that sound was not coming from anywhere else outside of the castle. And also, my first reaction to it is to ensure that nobody listening to the actual tape recording would be reading into the sound that they heard something military. By this I mean some sort of auditory pareidolia. Pareidolia means finding pattern in randomness. So what may actually have occurred may have been a noise from outside, some tapping sounds, and then an interpretation of it that has a military slant. Assuming that it was none of these, then it's very impressive auditory footage.
We came to try and unravel the mysteries of Castle Keep, yet despite hiding a millennium or more of memories, we also leave with the belief that this part of Newcastle still has a lot more to offer. Until next time, sleep tight.
I've investigated the lives and the deaths of Hollywood's biggest stars. Now I'm going back.
Dead Famous live from LA on Living TV.
Join Gail and Chris in LA then on the trail of those Dead Famous, exclusive to Living TV. Next tonight, what happened when the cameras stopped rolling? Most wanted extras behind the scenes at Castle Keep. Next.